The election starting at the very top, we welcome to the new newscast political analyst Brian Sobel of Sobel Communications. We have to start with the presidential race. Nearly every poll in all 7 battleground states says this race is a toss-up.
Absolutely. It's one of the unique races in modern history to see the 7 swing states, which account for 93 electoral college votes. Key to be that close. Some within a point and a half, 2 points. It's really remarkable.
But when we talk about this historical context of this race, I think there's so many things that people are discussing. One of them being how close the polls say all these swing states are as well, and how we are looking at polls, how we are looking at really how election results come in. I mean, how pivotal is this? I'm sure you're talking about all the text going, what's going to happen? And the predictions between it's going to be close, it's going to be a landslide, they're all over the map, and that's kind of indicative of really where we are in this space.
Well, and it goes back to our reliance on polls. Everything is about a poll, but a poll is just a snapshot in time. That day, those questions, the audience that picks up the phone or answers the text, whatever. And that's why, while polls are traditionally pretty accurate, they can be off the rails sometimes, and they were in 2020 and 2016.
So then how do we manage the day, I guess?
Well, that's the thing. I think we will watch the first results coming in, starting in Georgia, and then working its way through the time zones. And when we get halfway through that, we may see a trend. We may see a trend. If we don't, it's going to fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a long night.
Are you waiting for Pennsylvania and the 19 electoral votes there like a lot of other analysts?
Well, absolutely, because that's where the focus of the efforts of both campaigns have really landed, and the money. I was talking with some people in Pennsylvania who said that literally every commercial was either Harris or Trump.
Yeah.
Hour by hour, you can imagine.
Which is so interesting, because I think in the California bubble of which we sit, you know, when all that money isn't being spent, I mean, certainly we have some ads, but more for, I think, local races and statewide races than anything else, that it's really hard to determine what's happening and really the changes. Like you talk about Georgia being one of the first. Georgia we were waiting for a while, and there have been lots of legal battles, and I think it's hard for voters to keep up with what has changed, and why is that one first, and why is Arizona going to take 13 days, possibly? I mean, there have been a lot of adjustments.
Oh, absolutely. And in California, it's a deeply blue state. We already know who the winner is in California. 54 electoral college votes coming out of California. Right off the bat, goes right into the Harris ledger. And then we know that all the other races in California will go blue. Even the 4 or 5 congressional districts that are in play, mostly in Southern California, that are where Republicans have the seats, a couple of those may go blue as well. This is a blue state, and I think what that does for people is it inoculates us against all of this stuff that goes on around the country. We kind of don't see it moment by moment, but it's going on other places. And when I'm speaking in other markets and things like that, it's clear that people have a lot of angst about how their state is going to go.
Let's look past 8 o'clock tonight, our time. Do you already foresee recounts, claims of election misdeeds? This is not something that's going to be wrapped up quickly.
Right, but both Democrats and Republicans have lawyers in all these states, election experts, and they're both sides are going to be looking at how the election goes to decide whether they are picking up misdeeds and whether it's worth going to court for. You know, it's not one side or the other. They both have so much at stake that they have all lawyered up.
And so given what you've said and everything, in terms of when we look ahead, and I know we're going to dive into this a little bit later in the hour as well on exact timing, but could we, like we knew in 2016, know when this could happen as soon as tonight versus 2020 when we waited until the weekend? This could be something with both very real possibilities.
Well, Claudine, you mentioned the polling maybe being inaccurate. If we start seeing a trend tonight where the polls are not entirely accurate, where the differences are 2, 3, 4, 5%, we could have a leaning tonight and know which way this thing is going. We'll have to see. You know, the question I get asked over and over again is, well, who's going to win? Nobody knows. And if they tell you they know, they're just throwing a dart. We just don't know at this hour.
Okay, we get to talk about it more in about 25 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.